So I'm like, okay. Does that mean he's lazy?
We good?
Okay.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so I'll call our meeting to order. And Kevin, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Babcock?
Here.
Mrs. Sweet?
Here.
Mr. Bear?
Here.
Mr. Whitaker?
Here.
Mr. Avery?
Here.
Mr. Hannah?
Here.
All members of council are present, and please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. This is the regular session of the Enon Village Council, and this is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. Do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
A quick communication.
Okay, Mr. Hannah. Anything else? All right, let's go to the minutes of the January 25th meeting. And council has had a copy of those. And Mrs. Sweet, I know you do have a couple minor corrections on those.
I do. The organizational meeting minutes and the January 4th minutes, I abstained instead of voting yes, because I was not at those meetings.
Are there any other corrections?
I'll move that we accept the minutes with the noted changes.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Babcock?
Abstain.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Okay, those minutes are approved with the noted corrections. Let's go into the financial report. Laura is working to finalize everything for 2021. There is a report that's required by the auditor's office, and I think it's actually named after someone from the auditor's office, called the Hinkle Report. And we typically hire, to help us with that, Larry Weeks with Clark, Schaefer, and Hackett. So that process is underway. We do have some reports. We do not have the reconciliation because, as I understand it, on the UAN system, until that report is filed, you cannot do any reconciliation for the month of January. So when that gets filed and we get the reconciliation, which will probably be at the next meeting, then we'll be approving that particular month of January. We have a fund status report. This is as of the 7th. Keep in mind, no receipts have been posted to this, so those balances on there are without the receipts for the month. She will do that. I did talk to Laura. She will do that when the reconciliation process takes place. Same with the revenue status report. There's been hardly anything that has been posted to that. Again, that will be done when the reconciliation takes place. So really the one we can look at, the appropriation status report. If you look at the general fund, go to page 2 and 11% expenditures. Street construction, 11% expenditures. That's on page 3. Yeah, let's see. Police levy on page 4, 10%. And then water operating, go to the back page there. We've got 8%. Total of all, a little over 8%. So again, these will be more complete, actually a lot more complete, once that report gets filed with the auditor's office and she does her reconciliation.
When's the report due?
And I don't know the deadline, Jeremy,
Okay.
but I know the state does have a deadline, so. Any other questions? All right, let's move on to communications. Mr. Hannah, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, very quickly, I'd like to express the thanks to both our village employees as well as the township who worked to help clear our roads, and our police officers and deputies who helped with the stuck and abandoned vehicles and all the other stuff that happened during this past snowstorm. I would like to mention something that came up in the trustees meeting last night, is that the local township deputy had placed an item on public media or social media about trying to keep your cars clear of the road so that our street plows can make it through and make it better for all of us. And if and when we receive a snow, if we could keep in our mind that we may get ourselves in a bad situation by not having our car parked properly, and with all respect. But thanks to everybody that worked during that, to our fire department and our EMS that had extra people on. So I just wanted to reach out and say thanks for the services.
I agree. Thank you. Any other communications? Let's go into staff reports. And Kevin, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council, residents. First item on the agenda is the January Mayor's Court Report you have in front of you. There were 7 traffic cases this month. Total funds received this month was $1,620. Year-to-date, $1,620. Total remitted to the state, $255. Year-to-date, $225, excuse me. And year-to-date, $225. The indigent drivers alcohol treatment was current month was $9, and total remitted to the village was $1,386. Total dispersed $1,620.
So we need a motion and a second to approve the month of January.
I have a question. At the top where it says 2021 cases this month, 7 traffic, should that be 22?
Okay, I will correct that.
And then I will make a motion with that correction to accept this report.
I'll second.
Any other comments or discussion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. Babcock?
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
That report is approved as presented, and you can move on, Kevin.
All right, thank you. Blood drive was another great success. There was 34 units collected, 1 first-time donor. The next scheduled blood drives is April 20th, June 22nd, August 24th, October 26th, and December 21st. And we'll keep reminders on Facebook and web pages and for that. So, and those are 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. So, been having a good turnout on those, and because I think the last one here there was only a few spots open, left.
And how many no-shows did we have? Not too many because of the weather?
Not this time we didn't.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
not this time. Yeah.
Good deal.
So it's working out pretty well. Today I had I know I mentioned last time I was going to reach out to a couple engineers to discuss the vacant lot down there across from the docks that the village purchased, and kind of reach out to kind of let them know what we're kind of looking at, and get some quotes on engineering plans for site development, drainage, preliminary drainage plans, things like that. So I did have a meeting with Shelby Engel with CMT today. She's going to do just that, getting a preliminary grading plan and a preliminary drainage plan together with some rough estimates, very rough estimates, because we don't know. We have not talked about building yet or anything like that, size or location, things like that. So once I get this information back, it'll be very, naturally very preliminary and very rough estimates, So the survey of the property is scheduled for the last of this month. I did talk to Mark Scholl, and he's got that scheduled pending no more snow, ice, things like that. So tomorrow I'll be meeting with Craig Ely from Choice One to get him the ideas too as well. So we're comparing apples to apples. So that will happen tomorrow. I will let you all know when when the results come back for that. Thursday, Wayne and I is going to be going to Columbus to get some pesticide training for our license. That's Thursday the 10th. We'll be going all day for that there at the fairgrounds. So,
And Kevin, why is it important that we have that? Can you just take a second to explain? Because it's very, it is important, but I want them to hear from you.
You have to have a license, a commercial applicator license to spray. If we're doing anything at the parks, along the roads, things like that, we have to have a industrial vegetation license for along the roads, turf license if we're doing any park work, things like that. So,
And even if you wanted to spray for wasps, insects, you still need it.
yeah,
Technically,
yes,
yes,
technically
you
in
do.
a way you do.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that, but if somebody wanted to get be a real stickler about it and see us spraying for wasps and stuff, we could get the inspector over here and kind of make sure we're doing everything accordingly. So yeah.
So years ago, we had an unannounced inspector or surveyor that showed up at the Village of Enon and wanted to see our records.
He comes in
very, very serious. It was unannounced.
Right, they come in
Yeah.
unannounced and look at our records. We keep track of what we're spraying, the weather conditions, the how we're mixing it, things like that. That's all on a form that Wayne keeps and Doug keeps, and when the inspectors comes, we're hopefully ready for him. So
Thanks for explaining that.
we had a employee manual meeting Zoom meeting with Mike Hennenkamp from Ohio Plan. That's coming along really well. Again, he's starting. We went over the table of contents in the Zoom meeting, and now he's going to be working on sections at a time rather than doing the whole manual and giving us the whole manual. It was suggested that we do maybe 2 or 3 sections at a time. Kind of go through those, get them, where we want them, and then move on through the rest of the manual. But it's come along good. He's added some stuff that we didn't have in there, but overall he felt our manual was in pretty good shape actually. So
And also-
Is this like our employee?
the employee
handbook?
manual, yes,
Employee handbook?
yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And also the wages as well. You're going to send over the revisions to the job descriptions.
The job
He's
descriptions,
gonna-
sent them over yesterday, and we had some corrections, deletions and additions, that we made. So I sent them over there. They're going to retype them up, get them back to us, do a final once over on that, and we'll be kind of good to go on that. Once the employee manual's kind of complete, I'm thinking here in March, I'm hoping we can bring it to committee and all of us look at it and then make some decisions, or to bring it to council and make some decisions. So
But the handbook now is something that was approved by the council as an ordinance, correct?
yeah, the employee handbook, it was last updated in like 2014. It
Right.
says on the front. So yeah, and what he's doing is just going through there, and there's spots where he feels that this section should be over here with this. It was just kind of out of order in some spots.
Sure.
He's just kind of doing some cleanup, and then there's some legal stuff that he's putting in there that he feels that needs to be in there. There's some sections that wasn't in there, some that needs to be in there. So it's coming along good, and he's a lot of good information, a lot of good ideas. So
They're doing the village a good job for the $5,000.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, I
think
do
there's
too.
a lot of work, and I think once we get the finished product to committee to view over and make final decisions, I think I think you'll be surprised how it came out. So
Good. Then we just got to follow it.
then we just got to follow it. Yeah, exactly. Item number 6 there, we haven't had a deep cleaning of this office in a while, and what I mean by deep cleaning is we're going to take the light panels down. There's bugs all over, cobwebs, dust. It just needs a good deep cleaning. We clean on a weekly basis, but basically we're cleaning the bathrooms and mopping and things like that. So we are going to have the office closed to the public. Angie will be here answering phones anyhow if people call in. So the office will still be open per se, but closed to the public coming in, because we're just going to be mopping, cleaning on ladders, things like that, to give it a good deep cleaning. So.
Are we doing both sides? Both sides?
As far as I know, we haven't said anything to the police, because I know Mike's been gone, and I don't know what their schedule is to, have somebody down there. He doesn't like anybody, just in there without him here. So I'll check in with, see who's on duty and see if we can. I mean, yeah, we might as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, just reach out to Mike, see what he
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
Yeah, shoot
The
him a
office,
text.
the office will still be open to the double doors, correct? They can still walk in to get to Angie's?
We can, it wasn't planned that way, because, like I said, we can clean that or, right away in the morning and have those double doors open. So, yeah,
I just didn't know
Yeah.
how far, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying you don't, I'm just.
Right.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, whether we don't normally let people pass the double doors.
Right.
I just didn't know the intention was to, if Angie's gonna be here to answer phones, would that prevent anybody else from coming in to pay their water bill?
Now that you mention, no, not necessarily. I mean, it's just because, like you say, we don't let them come through past the doors, so we can clean that entryway first, and so because there's not much out there anyhow. So yeah,
Right.
so okay. Let's see. I will be on vacation starting the 17th through the 24th, and I will be gone for the next council meeting. I'll have Christy here to take over for that meeting, next meeting on the 22nd. Once again, the guys did a fantastic job with the snow removal, and we've gotten some compliments from people out in the public, and really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, kind of bearing with us as we go through this. Nobody likes to have snow pushed on their driveway and sidewalks and stuff, but it's that part of winter. So we do the best we can. So
If you can, try to put those pictures of Doug and the other guy on our Facebook page, if you would, please.
yep.
Miranda, too, maybe.
I think that's all I have for now, Mayor.
Any questions for our administrator? Kevin, thank you very much. Good job. Everybody's doing a nice job working well together, and it shows.
Yep.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And the chief is at training for the next week and a half. Do we have any committee reports? All right, let's go down to old business. We'll talk about the appointment of board members for our Board of Zoning Appeals and/or Planning Commission. And you should have a sheet that has those members that are highlighted. The current president, well, his term expired the end of January, Mr. Bud Baker. First of all, I need to thank Bud. How long do you think, Rick, he's been doing that presidency? He's been in there a while as the president.
He easily passed 14 years, I would imagine.
I'd say
12 years, Elmer. 14
maybe
years,
10, 12, something
yeah.
like that. So that's one of those positions that when you are running the meeting and you have a room full of citizens that are there to express concerns, the pay's not all that hot, I got to tell you. And Bud has done that very respectfully and represented the village well. So first of all, Bud, if you're listening tonight, thank you very much, and we appreciate his service on that. I think, and this is just my opinion, a logical move into that president's position would be Mr. Beard. And then the two alternates, and again, this is council's decision, just a suggestion. You have Mr. Jeremy Least, who does code enforcement for a living, seemed like would be a good person to move into a regular position, and John Downs, who has served as a regular member, could fill the other position that's left vacant by Matt Mills when he moved out of town. So just something to think about. And then that would leave the two alternates for council to choose, if that's how they want to go, to fill from the candidates. There were 4 candidates that submitted interest: Heather Christine, Kathleen Baber, Mr. John Young, and Mr. Rob Storm. So I'll turn it over to council at this time, and
Let's see here. I would agree with Tim's recommendations for president and moving our alternates to the other 2 remaining seats on the zoning appeals. Looking through here, I think there was 1 or 2 that were just interested in the planning commission. Let's see here.
I'd probably recommend Kathleen Baber and John Young.
For the zoning appeals alternates,
Right.
yeah.
John Young serves as the State Highway Patrol as pastor,
Right.
chaplain, the chaplain, but I know him and he's exceptional young man, so. Of course, everybody's young to me at this point, so.
And at this point, I think the planning commission would stay status quo. Is that
Right.
what we're?
Yeah,
what
if
we're
they're
looking
both
at?
still interested in serving, I don't see a reason to make any changes on that committee unless anybody else does. Okay,
This may change at some point, but
Sure.
at least as for this year and these positions, that would be my recommendation.
so we need to do
Just a motion.
okay, so I'll move to, this is gonna be a long one, Kevin.
As long as you speak up, and I'll listen to it tomorrow.
All right, so I'll move that we make Elmer Beard the president of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Move John Downs and Jeremy Least to regular members of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Make Kathleen Baber and John Young as our 2 alternates for Board of Zoning Appeals. And then we will stay status quo for the Enon Planning Commission for time being. And these will be terms, well, I guess they would begin, would we go back, we backdated, or we would start tonight?
Just start tonight.
Okay, so the term would be 8 February to January 31st, 2023. Or no, 24.
Yeah, they're 2-year
it'd
terms.
be 2-year terms.
Yeah, 24.
January 31st?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Are there any comments? Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Babcock?
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Avery?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes. If I could piggyback on the mayor's remarks about Bud Baker. Bud's chaired the committee for, it's been a long time. There had been some very contentious meetings with it, and Bud was always able to control the meeting, yet add compassion and humor in a lot of the things that he did. So he was very effective in working with all the different citizens. It may not have been to exactly their liking on different things, but that's part of the program. But we greatly appreciate Bud's time and experience and service to the community.
You're here.
Okay, and we have no executive session tonight. Comments from our public? Elmer, congratulations, by the way.
Kathleen,
Kathleen, congratulations.
motion to adjourn.
Well, there's one, we had one announcement. I'll let Jeremy do it. We have one little announcement first.
Yeah, we got the Cincinnati Bengals playing in the Super Bowl, so
Who Day.
good luck to the Bengals and Who Day.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. Have a good evening,
7:25.
everyone.